Hey guys, so today this video might be a little long, but I have a lot of pretty amazing things to share with you guys, and I know it's gonna be pretty mind-blowing, and I'm sorry, I need to take my time with this video. I'm not gonna upload it in multiple parts. I'm really sorry. And also there's some things that might be upsetting to some people, but if you guys just hear me out and let me explain it, maybe you guys will really see how incredible this is. I know this is a revelation from the Holy Spirit. I wish I could really express that and communicate that through the screen, but you guys, unfortunately, you guys don't get to see like all the time I've spent just seeking the Lord and how he reveals things to me. It's just, I do not have the intelligence or mind or creativity to create any of these things. I'm just a random mom, just living my life. And he just, I just seek him, and then he shows me so many amazing things. So yeah. And so I know this is going to be a huge encouragement for you guys. And if you guys just hear me out to the end, and yeah, I'm really excited to share it with you guys. Now, when I tell you guys that this is something that I've never seen any channel say, I'm not trying to say that for Monopoly or whatever. I'm saying that because this video, like, I know I have to get this out there. There's so much to cover, and like the Holy Spirit was just pouring out so much revelation, and I've not seen anyone talk about this, so it's like so key. So please be patient with me. Please hear me out. I know it might be a little long, but I need to talk about all the context, and I like to show you guys my work so that you guys can have the information in your hands and go out and look at stellarium, look at the heavens, get your telescope, all these things on your own, all right? So hopefully, you guys can give me a little bit of grace there. So the first thing I want to talk about, I know this is kind of rehashing something that I've already gone over in previous videos with my Midnight Cry video, and also the Holy Spirit confirmations, the next video after that, okay? And it's 2:15, I didn't even realize, so that's the February 15. Wow. So let me start there. Please don't skip this part. I know this is really important to building on the rest of it. So if you guys don't know, basically the Holy Spirit showed me that February 15 is the equivalent of true midnight. So people would think that midnight is 12, but in reality, according to the Mazaroth, if you look up and the heavens, and you see also when the sun, you would need stellarium for this, but when you see the sun is perfectly centered with the meridian line, that means it's true midnight. And so that time changes. If you look at the analemma of the sun, it creates an 8 in the sky, and this just means, so the positioning is always different, and it does that once a year. And so basically that means that it would mean that the midnight would change, the amount of time between sunset and sunrise changes every single night, all right? And also because of the positioning, the true midnight would change. It would go from, like, it could be actually midnight to 11, 11:20, 11:40, and then it could go to like 1 and 1 something, or like 12:30, or it kind of changes like this, all right? It's in this window, and so this would mean that at a certain time, this time would be unique to being once a year, all right? And so I did a calculation, and I'll show you guys the calculation in a second. And so I recommend watching that video, but I go over it extensively, but the Midnight Cry verse, which is, and at midnight there was a cry made, so it's actually at the middle of the night there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, all right? And so I was telling you guys, like, look up cometh, look up the original language in Greek, and you're going to get a better idea of what this is. But it's the middle of the night, and so that's what really gave me the idea to look at the real middle of the night. And so what I was doing was I was mathematically finding the 24-hour middle of the night equivalent to the And so the Mazaroth, middle of the night, remember, it's basically a 12-hour cycle. And so the middle of the night would be 12. But remember, we're finding the true midnight, so it would actually be, so at that time, the middle of the night is around, I found it was around 11:53, and then so I used that and I'll tell you the formula in a second so you can do it, but I wanted to find out the equivalent of 11:53 on the Mazaroth, and remember, 1 hour on the Mazaroth equals a month, all right? And so, 1 day would be, 1 day would be 2 minutes, all right? And so what I had done was I did 53 minutes over 60 equals X, so I'm trying to find X, over 29, all right? And that calculation led me to 25.616, which equals, if you round it properly to the first decimal point, is 25.6. Which is amazing, all right? And so I was mind blown by that, and I did a whole, and you're welcome to do this on your own if you don't believe me, but I did a whole list of calculations, just changing the factors, by 1, up or down. For example, I did, 54 over 60 equals X over 30, right? And so every single answer was off, okay? So sometimes it was like, it was 25, but it was like 25.9 or something. It's not 25.6, so this was very unique to 3 decimal points, all right? And so what happened was I started this count using the completely new moon. And so when it went to, if you understand moon phases, and if you need help with that, look on Stellarium, click on the moon, and you'll see the moon phases, and it'll be a number, decimal, and then 2 decimal points, all right? And it's very precise, and so so I would look when it's 0.00, that means no illumination of the moon, and then I would, the very first day where it went up to 0.01, that means 1% illumination, that's when I started the count, all right? And I know it worked because it gave me the February 15, and I think God had a purpose in that. But then I kept on my mind. So if you guys are watching Mandy, and I'll put all links in the description, right? Mandy in her messages kept saying that we're missing a piece to God's true calendar. So we knew God's true calendar is the Mazaroth, but we were missing a chunk that was going to help us unlock the calendar, all right? And so this is the video, if you want to know this, okay? This is mind-boggling. I cannot make this up, but anyway. And so what happened was I was really mulling over this whole new crescent, all right? I was like, how does this tie in? I felt like the starting from the new moon was, I was like, in the old days, they wouldn't know that. And so I feel like there's a discrepancy there. So I was like, I kept mulling over it, but I didn't understand like what to do about it. And so I just was like, I decided to do February 15. So what happened was I was looking on Stellarium, and I found out that I was just like usually I turn off the atmosphere and the landscape. And so I was fiddling with it, and I saw that you can do like, I'm not living in Jerusalem, but I'm able to see in Jerusalem when the new crescent would appear. And so not only that, but I've been studying how humans with the naked eye, because that's what they would use in the old days, how they can see the crescent moon, what the limit is, because when it's too small, when the illumination is too low, it's too much of a sliver for the naked eye to see. You would literally need a telescope, or you would need a high-powered camera that has like infrared, capabilities. So this is something that would not exist in ancient Israel, all right? And so there is a limit to when the human eye can see the crescent moon. On top of that, there's very